For 9-7, we're talking about special right triangles. And for special right triangles, there are two types of special right triangles. There is the 45-45-90 and the 30-60-90. Right now, we're going to focus on the 45-45-90. For the 45-45-90, a couple things that you may want to remember that's going to help you out. First of all, what kind of a triangle is this? It's an isosceles triangle. Very good. So that means that the legs are equal. Hence, x and x. Whatever one leg is, that's the value of the other leg. And the hypotenuse will be found using x times the square root of 2. Okay? So if I give you the side of 5, okay, then the other side is 5. The hypotenuse is 5, square root of 2. Done. Now, what happens when x, or the hypotenuse rather, is a whole value? You use the following formulas when the hypotenuse is given as a whole number. When the hypotenuse is a whole number, the legs are simply going to be the value of the hypotenuse times the square root of 2 over 2. And I'm going to show you the mechanics of this right now. If I were to tell you triangle, let's see, ABC, okay, and ABC, it's a right triangle, and I tell you that this is a 45 here, and I said this is 6. Well, using our formula, this is easy. This is a leg 6, so AB would be 6. AC would be 6 radical 2. Done. Whenever they give it to you like that, it's simple. If they tell you you have the following right triangle, it's a 45, 45, 90. You have ABC again, and they tell you that the hypotenuse is 7 radical 2. What would the sides be? 7 and 7. Makes sense, correct, guys? Easy, easy. Now, what happens when they give you the hypotenuse as a whole number? Let me explain what's happening in this particular case. In this particular case, when they give you A, B, C, and they give you a hypotenuse as, let's say, 10. Okay. Before I show you how to use the formula, let's show the long way so you could see how useful the formula really is. What is the formula for the hypotenuse of a 45, 45, 90? No, don't look at this right now, guys. Don't look at this right now. We're going to do it the long way. What is the formula for the hypotenuse of a 45, 45, 90? It's right in front of your face. X square root of 2. Not x squared plus x squared. It's not x squared plus x squared either. X squared plus x squared is 2x squared. Where are you getting x squared plus x squared from? What is the hypotenuse formula for a 45, 45, 90 triangle, guys? X squared. Very good. So didn't they give you a hypotenuse here? Hello? So 10 equals x square root of 2, correct? How do you solve for this?
You have to multiply.
No, you do not multiply. You divide square root of 2 to both sides. That cancels. So x equals 10 over square root of 2. Now you learned in algebra that you cannot have a radical in the denominator, so you must rationalize. So you're going to multiply the top and bottom by square root of 2 over 2. So that's going to equal 10 square root of 2 over 2, which equals 5 square root of 2. So if you don't want to memorize the formulas when the hypotenuse is a whole number, that's fine. Solve it out. However, wouldn't this have been a lot easier? 10 is the hypotenuse. When the hypotenuse of a 45, 45, 90 is a whole number, use these formulas. Wouldn't BC then equal 10 times the square root of 2 over 2, which equals 5 square root of 2? Done in half the time. This is a huge problem for a lot of students. They don't want to remember that it's x radical 2. They don't want to do it the long way. That's fine. I've just given you a shortcut. Bless you. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. Same, yes, sir. I don't want to find the exact value. If I want to find the exact value, then it'd be 5 times the square root of 2 in your calculator. But on SATs and on most applications, they're just going to want to accept it right here like this, 5 radical 2. If I ask you for the actual value, I would say round to the thousands or the hundreds, and you actually plug it into your calculator. Yes, sir. Okay? Now, 30, 60, 90. 30, 60, 90 triangle. The 30 is the smallest angle, so the opposite side of that smallest angle will be the smallest side. So that we call x. 60 degrees, that's the second largest side. Okay, or it is the largest side, it's the second largest angle. And the opposite side of that is x square root of 3. And the side opposite the 90, the hypotenuse, is 2x. Same trick though when the side opposite the 60, actually this is wrong. When the side opposite the 60 is x, a whole value, the short side of 30 degrees will be that x value times the radical 3 over 3, and the hypotenuse b will be 2 times the x value, radical 3 over 3. Again, the easy ones are easy. I'm not going to bother doing an easy one. However, what if I gave you the following? I say this is 30, this is 60. And I say that the side across 60 is 6. You could do this one of two ways. You could say, okay, 6 equals x times the radical 3. Divide by radical 3. 6 over radical 3 equals x. Multiply top and bottom by radical 3. So x would equal 6 radical 3 over 3, which equals 2 radical 3. You could do that. Or you could memorize some formulas. If the side opposite the 60 is 6, well then the short side is going to be 6 times radical 3 over 3, which equals 2 radical 3. And the hypotenuse is going to be double that size. So the hypotenuse would be 4 radical 3. Does that make sense, gentlemen? Yes, sir.
For the hypotenuse, like on the test, we wouldn't have to do like show work or anything, right? Like we could just write 4 radical.
Yes, sir. If you know the formula, there is no work to show. It's using your brain. Well done. Thank you, son. Okay? Does that make sense, gentlemen? Yeah? All right. So let's do a couple problems. Okay. Problem 1. If I give you the following, of course, we're going to go nice and easy and then get more difficult as it goes. If I tell you that's my 90, this is x. Sorry, I'm on the wrong page. My bad. Still going to be the same setup, though. But, okay. If I tell you that this is 60, this is 10. Whoa. Sorry about that. This is 60, and I have A, B, C, and I tell you the hypotenuse is 10. How would I find AB, and how would I find BC? Very good. Since the hypotenuse of AC is 2x, 10 equals 2x, so x equals 5. So that goes across the side of the 30, so BC is 5. What would AB be? 5 radical 3. Ding dong, the witch is gone. That's it. We're done. What's up, my brother? You look confused, sir. Sorry?
I thought it was x radical 3 over 3.
That's okay. You use the read. Read. When the side opposite the 60 is a whole value, you use this trick because the side opposite the 60 involves a radical. What I gave you here was straight up the hypotenuse. And the formula for the hypotenuse of a 30, 60, 90 is 2 times the small side. Next, problem 2. Let's say I gave you this. Here we go. How about I give you this? This is 60 and this is 6. And I got A, B, C. All right. Now, I want to find AC and I want to find BC. I was given the opposite side of the 60 as a whole number. So, what would BC be, the small side? It 6 radical 3 over 3, which equals 2 radical 3. And what would the hypotenuse equal? 4 radical 3. Now, if you did not want to memorize it, you just have a brain freeze when it comes to that, fine. Doesn't 6 equal x radical 3? Because that's the side opposite the 60. Go ahead and solve for x. Rationalize. You're going to get the same thing, but just a lot longer of a journey. So it would behoove you to memorize those 2 special considerations. Those are tricks that are not found in many books. So be careful with that. Yes, sir. Yeah. Isn't this 12 times radical 3 over 3? Doesn't that equal 4 radical 3? Okay. Now, let's do another one. What if I give you the following? Give you a square. And I say this is A, B, C, D. I make a diagonal. And I say this is 9. I want to find DC. And I want to find AC. First of all, this is a diagonal. What does a diagonal do to the vertices of a square? Bisects them. So that's 45. That's a 90. So if one of the sides is 90, what's DC? Is 9. What's DC? 9, because it's isosceles. And what is the hypotenuse then? 9 radical 2. Does that make sense, boys? You promise? Okay. And last but not least, if I were to give you something like this, I say this is 4, and I say this is a 45. And I say A, B, C. Find AB and find BC. Very good. Since the hypotenuse was given in a whole number form, the side is going to be 4 times radical 2 over 2, which equals 2 radical 2. Since the sides of a 45, 45, 90 are equal, they're both 2 radical 2. Does that make sense, folks? All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day.